weekend plans that you have. I believe weekend plans on our side include a craft show, art fair in Jacksonville. And I will get the information from my wife, and I will also get the name of the Facebook page that they have. Uh, and you can go look around and see beautiful uh, crocheted products. Eventually, sometimes you'll see some Cricut stuff, which is also fantastic. And occasionally, you will see some awesome, fantastic. I have to keep my voice under control, but you will see some fantastic woodworking products by our son, Matt, who does a really good job. And if you're looking for good quality wood stuff, you'll see some stuff that he does. And you'll be able to purchase that stuff too. Anyway, that's the advertising for this portion of Monday Morning Caffeine. And now we'd like to advertise the fact that William Rayfield is with us. So tell us what's new and exciting, Mr. Ray.
It's a great, let me get my microphone over here. It's a great, what is today? Monday. It's a great Monday morning.
Monday, March 4th.
It's a great Monday morning. And as always, I appreciate you letting me join your podcast and seeing what the news is of the day and seeing what you're up talking about today.
I appreciate it. I missed your 9 o'clock one the other day. You were 100% right. It's past my bedtime or my getting ready for my trip to Snooze Land, and I missed it. I have to go back either and watch it or have you tell me about it or both. And as William said, I'm going to flash this on the screen. If you're watching and you're watching through the Patriots Lab Network, please make sure you go to William's profile. And when you're watching, share stars, because that is very important. It helps contribute to the costs of the high costs of the fantastic job that William does bringing things to your attention that not everybody else on Facebook, not everybody else on social media brings to your attention either. And I'm going to send it back to Ray after. I've been reading lately that, and it was a post on Newsmax, and unfortunately I'm on a share ban, so it won't appear on Facebook from me until about 9:10 this evening. But it is a post that hints around that Meta is going to turn off the Facebook news feed. They don't call it in the article the Facebook news feed. They call it the news tab. And I've never seen a news tab on Facebook that takes you to where you can read things. It might be there. I don't know. It might not be the news feed, but it sounds to me and people that I talked to over the weekend that they're getting ready to kill the news feed. They've been public about the fact that any of the news publishers, it doesn't matter who they are, big ones, small ones, that are getting compensated by Facebook to post things in the news feed, their contracts, when they expire in 2024, will not be renewed. So maybe they're going to take the Facebook news feed and move it downstairs to Instagram or WhatsApp or share it with Threads. I don't know, but it sounds like the Facebook news feed will no longer be on Facebook in the United States. Go ahead, William.
Good morning. Good morning. You can take that comment stuff down. I normally don't advertise like that. If they see it, they see it. If they felt led to participate in it, they can participate in it. They see it up there. Good morning, Vin Truckin. Good morning, Michael Randall. Good morning, Mary Penn. As y'all can see, I am in the studio. I am actually in Dave's Glovin studio. I'm in the studio with Boogie and the Bull this morning. Boogie with the Bull this morning. And it's Monday. It's Monday. I don't know about you, but I haven't. My new thing that I'm focusing on now is not just news, but it's more of common sense. Common sense. where we're at in this whole situation, there's no more words that can explain what's taken place other than pure treason, high crimes, misdemeanors. You know, we have Joe Biden, who has possibly committed every high crimes and misdemeanors possible. And this is the thing. If we remember, people, patriots, whoever you consider yourself to be, when the Her report came out, when the special report came out on Joe Biden, they said he is guilty of willfully retaining classified information. I read it all out to you on my show the other night. Willfully committed high crimes and misdemeanors. And then on the other hand, then they want to come out and say they can't press charges on him because he's too delicate in the brain and he has a loss of memory, basically saying he has dementia, Alzheimer's. But then in the second breath, they come out and say how prepared he is to run the country, how he is just on his P's and Q's. Which one is it? See, they're playing games with the American people, and I don't know if the American people are paying attention to what's going on. They're confusing them so much. It can't be both. So Her, you either didn't prosecute him because he's too old, but then on the other hand, y'all cannot say that this man can run the country. So which one is it? They're double talking, and we're not calling them out on it. They're keeping us focused on other stuff.
Back when we were all growing up, if a criminal pleaded insanity, they went into court and they tried to get the not prosecuted per se for the charges, but they ended up being moved to a sane asylum, a home for the whatever you want to call them. And then when they proved to the facility they were at they were competent, they were either discharged and stood trial then, or depending on how long it had been, they were just sent home and credited with time served. So what I don't understand is if Mr. Her is throwing one side of the allegations against President Biden, you're guilty of this, you're guilty of this, you did this, you did that, and then says, but you're too old to be tried for it, then why isn't he being moved from the White House for the criminally deranged and transported back to the Delaware dungeon for the criminally and permanently deranged?
And that's why it's all about common sense. You can't, on one hand, not be prosecuted for the crimes that they already say you committed. It's in the report. They say he willfully retained classified information when he wasn't supposed to have it. But they're not going to charge him because he's too old, too delicate, and the jury of his peers wouldn't find him guilty in his state of mind. Then how can he be president? It's
right.
But see, the American people, I don't care what the mainstream media says. I don't care what these pundits say. The American people, given the opportunity, will speak.
I think the American people are starting to speak. Some don't know where to go to speak. Do they risk getting some kind of a Facebook jail sentence for coming out and speaking the truth? Because, and now the sad thing is, most of my friends, I mean, I'm still getting 41 hour suspensions, 2-day suspensions, 5-day suspensions. My friends are getting slapped with 20, 30, 40 days for doing things that were, nowhere near as bad as some of the things I post that they give me. Like I said, they give me a week, 5 days, and the 5 days will actually be the five. They hit me with 2 days, made it 5 days, kicked it back down to 41 hours, and now the countdown to about 9 o'clock tonight is happening. But anyway, I'm starting to wonder, and I said it to people all weekend in different chats on Messenger, is Facebook coming to the end of Facebook? Are they really just doing all this stuff to get us to maybe one final push to get us to leave? Are they going to become a publisher? Are they going to have control? Because when they have control, most of us won't be here anymore. And then if that's the case, where are we going?
There are too many other platforms. I don't pay attention to the platform shit. If we want to get our voice out there, there's too many other avenues in getting your voice out there. I don't care if Facebook shuts me down. There's always too many platforms.
Yeah.
So in the long run, it's their loss, because everything falls on the bottom line product, and they go in the way the money goes. So it is what it is.
And the only thing that has kept me from moving to Rumble lately, and I'm not doing this to get you to stroke my ego in any way, but the only thing in the back of my head that keeps me from going to Rumble is often just thinking that Boogie isn't quite there to be on Rumble. And maybe that's when you're
Rumble
at that.
Is just a social media platform.
No, I know, but I mean, there are more conservatives over there. There are.
So that's where you want to be.
I know. But usually, it's just how I will talk myself out of doing something that I know I want to do, is just tell myself that, hey, maybe not, maybe not. But the other thing is that's really a crock. The maybe not thing is when you just decide to go over and do it, and if it works, you keep doing it, and if it doesn't work, then you don't. But let's see, where were you over the weekend? Did you do any traveling? Did you get out there and shake hands and talk politics with people?
Nope, I've been in the house all weekend. I've been recovering from a little under the weatherness.
Okay.
I appreciate all the prayers out to the wife. She's feeling a lot better. Keep them coming. Prayer work.
Good. Yeah. Do you have plans to? Do you have upcoming trips planned that you want to share, or are they still under wraps?
No, not yet. Not yet. Right now, I'm just like I told you, my new avenue is to basically get away from the things that they're putting out there to distract us, and try to keep people focused on common sense issues.
Yeah.
We've already talked about Biden and Trump, and how it's just so obvious. How it's just so obvious of the corruption. You got KGP comes out the other day and says that Biden's doctors, all 6 or 7 of them, cleared him great bill of health. Well, which one is it? Because hers says the man can't do nothing. That's what I'm talking about when I say common sense. Which one is it? And you know why the doctors can't come out and speak in front of the public? Because they have an oath of their own that they have to uphold. They have their own code of conduct. And if they got in front of the cameras and had to tell the truth about Joe Biden, that would be it.
Right.
So they probably chose to not get in front of the camera. They probably told him, look, I can't go against ethics. I'm not ruining my doctor career for your political career. You might have all of these district attorneys and stuff that think they got cover under you, and they're finding out that they're just as exposed as you are now. But I'm not going down with the ship. So we have to take KGP's word for it that Joe Biden is fully capable of doing his job running the country. But her said he's not. So which one is it? Common sense, people. Which one is it? And don't let me have to get on Slutty Fanny and Slick Wade. Is that any more obvious that she hooked her boyfriend up, got all that money, they started taking vacation? They knew they didn't have a case, but they figured this was a good way to get paid. That's what they figured. They said, look, we about to get paid. We're going to do what we need to do. I can't even believe that this thing is still going on. They've been busted lying. Hey, it just lets you know the state that this country is in right now, when people can blatantly get out there and lie because they think they can. And we got to digest this shit.
Well, they think they can, whether or not that's right, and they are doing it. Whether or not it's right is a different story. You know, a judge who can say before this case ever got to court, you're guilty, you know, them talking about all the evil things they did with taxpayer money or whoever money or personal money, or I don't really care whose money it was, while they were doing all of this. It's easy for Democrats to step forward and say what they did right now and cry foul because the Department of Justice is so weaponized. The odds are they don't stand to get prosecuted until January 25th, when the changing of the guard and new district attorneys and new state attorney generals and new attorney general comes in, and hopefully the Justice Department gets bleached and put back together. And I don't know how many times I say that on a broadcast, the Justice Department being bleached and put back together, because I figure it's just a matter of time before the corruption that stays down at the bottom works its way back up to the top again. I've said so many times on a Boogie with the Bull broadcast, you could take everybody out of the Senate and put in fresh people who are at the House, fresh people who've never served before. And sooner or later, they will all become corrupt, because the nature of the job is being corrupt.
Well, I think the American people, after this episode passes, is going to be a lot more diligent. They're going to be a lot more focused on term limits. They're going to be a lot more focused on their elections. They're just going to be a lot more focused all the way around, because we're in a place that we haven't been in my lifetime.
Yeah.
We're fighting for our freedom. And that word freedom has a way of bringing people together, changing people's attitudes that at one time might have thought differently than you. That word freedom. Because people understand we can't get to any of our grievances that we have with one another without freedom, because they'll put a lid on it.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's freedom that gives us the opportunity to have our freedom of speech, to say what we want to say to a certain extent, voice our opinions and things of that nature. So everybody loves to do that. Nobody wants that taken. Nobody wants their voice taken away from them.
Nope. One of my favorite memes right now says, freedom is being you without permission. And if you think you have to ask for permission, or you start asking for permission, eventually you won't have to ask anymore, because they'll just take it away from you, because that's what they think they can do. I still can't imagine, I can't wrap my head around it at all, how any politician in Washington, D.C., a member of the House, a member of the Senate, people in the White House, right up to the man working in the Oval Office, think they can ever come up with a valid reason for when they get to the Supreme Court and John Roberts looks at them and says, why do you think we're going to approve you changing the Constitution and taking rights away from people. I mean, come on. This is the core of this is so stupid that at the core, it should not have continued as long as it has.
Well, when you have the corruption that you have, and it's been going on for as long as it has, this is what we can expect. This is what we can expect. Mitch McConnell is stepping down.
Yep.
For anyone who wasn't aware of that.
Well, it appears that he's stepping down as the Republican minority leader, or even if the Republicans win, he's not going to come back, as he says he's not coming back as the Republican majority leader. But he's not talking about ending his term in the Senate. He's just saying, I won't be a member. I won't be a member of Republican Party leadership. Well, that could be true.
He's going away.
Yeah.
Because this is deeper than what a lot of people understand and know. Right now,
okay, go ahead.
Mitch McConnell's sister-in-law, Mrs. Chow, was in a terrible, terrible car accident, which is under suspicion, and they are investigating it under murder. So, when you got Chow, now we already heard bits and pieces about his wife and who she was affiliated with. And if you want to hear the rest of that, you know what you got to do. Tune into the
Wasn't she Secretary of Transportation at one time before Pete Buttigieg got in?
I'm not
sure. She wasn't
sure.
Secretary. I can't remember which one it was.
His wife?
Yeah, his wife.
Oh, well, the sister-in-law, they are investigating the car accident as a homicide, possible homicide. So, you know, maybe my brain is different, but when bits and pieces of the same puzzle start forming and coming together, is it a coincidence that he's stepping down and something happened to his sister-in-law and they're investigating it for murder at the same time?
Probably not.
Is it, did she know too much? I mean, I'm just asking,
maybe
she could be talking with her sister. Did she know too much? Is this the process of elimination taking place right now?
I mean, it's very sad that in 2024 in America that anybody may have to do something like that to make anybody, and I mean anybody, Republican, Democrat, Independent, make anybody stop and think that, hey, they're going to go after my family instead of sitting down and talking with me or whatever to get me out. That's just,
hey, when you know where the bodies are buried, I don't put nothing past nobody.
But I mean, and then you look at him, and then you look at Chuck Grassley, two completely different Democrats, cut from two completely different, I think, sides of. Republicans. I will beat the hell out of me for calling Chuck Grassley a Democrat at the end of the broadcast. But Chuck Grassley has been in there probably longer than anybody else, along with McConnell and others. And he just still seems to be, I'm guessing, in his 80s too.
Hey,
man committed to the people who elected him.
The American people have gotten hip to this career politician stuff. That's why you hear so many people now talking term limits.
Yep.
Because people realize when certain people have been in politics and been in the same seat for 18, 20 years, you mean to tell me you never lost an election? You never lost an election. You never, ever lost an election. You just happened to luck out and hold that seat, Nancy Pelosi, for 20-something years.
Yep. Or you have, then you have the president who had like 40 years, 48 years, 50 years in the Senate and the vice presidency. A a well-regarded lawyer, I guess, graduated near the bottom of his class, if not the bottom of his class. Don't know if he ever worked for a law firm or served as a lawyer before. But then on the other side, you have Bernie Sanders, who the only job Bernie's ever had was being in the Senate. For 40 years. Then you look at Barbara Boxer, Maxine Waters, and I hate looking at Maxine Waters because we all know she's threatened Trump physically more times than any, and you wonder why she's still walking around sitting behind her desk in the Senate.
The Democratic Party have, in the past couple of years, have finally shown their horns. Yep. They've finally shown what they're really all about. You know the saying, a leopard never changes its spots. Yep. So they might have tried to finagle who they were, wear a mask on who they are, but they are who we thought they were. Joe Biden is who we knew he was. This country, I don't care what people say, this country has a racist as a figurehead for a president.
Yep.
How else can you justify doing a eulogy at Strom Thurmond's funeral? How else can you justify Senator Byrd being one of your mentors? These are KKK people. Joe Biden, I don't want my kids growing up in this jungle. Or every time you walk into 7-Eleven, they got an accent. If you don't vote for me, you ain't black. By the way, I'm going to show up to a black family's house with some fried chicken. If that ain't the most racist shit. But the crime bill, 1994, which perpetrated and locked up more black youths. Come on, man. Joe Biden is the biggest racist that there is. And you know how I definitely know? Because they call Trump racist. They deflect what they are onto their enemies. They deflect what they're doing in this election and put it back on their enemies. So everything they're accusing the Republicans and Trump are doing, like I told them, these Democrats are dumb. They can't think of originals for themselves. So what do? They say they're doing exactly what they're doing. Nothing to think about. Only thing they got to do is switch sides of the shit. And that's what they do.
Yeah. I want to touch base on Nikki Haley. We all know that hopefully she's washed up. She's done. She should have stepped down a long time ago. She wants to go through Super Tuesday because she thinks that that the wind is going to inflate her sails and take her to the presidency over massive wins on Super Tuesday, which is probably a person who is so delusional that she probably shouldn't be president. But let's chew on her for a moment.
Oh, Tricky Nikki. Oh, Tricky
Yeah.
Nikki's playing her role. She's the new Nancy Pelosi.
Yeah.
People, patriots, whoever you consider yourself to be, rhinos aren't only just men. No. Nikki Haley's a rhino.
Yeah.
You know how I know she's a rhino? Because she ain't for her party.
Right.
Because if she was for her party, she'd be more worried about getting her party together to go against the Democrat. It's common sense, people.
Right.
Nikki Haley is a traitor.
Okay.
I didn't know she was a traitor until just a couple of months ago. But when somebody lies, see, it don't take much. For me, to see through your ass.
Yep.
It just takes you to go off course just a little bit. And when Nikki Haley came out and started bashing Trump, I said, that's it. Because you know what? A true loyal person and that cares about this country don't do that. They don't turncoat.
Yeah.
They don't backstab.
Yeah.
They go,
I said I wanted to chew on her for a moment, but I can't tell you how many videos I watched over the weekend that say Vivek, and I can't even say it's Ramaswamy. I have to think about it before I say it, or else I will butcher it. And I hate butchering people's last names. But Vivek Ramaswamy, Republicans, conservative patriots that I know that have been around for a while and are in the 60s like I am. I'm 62. Most are 65 that are in the circle that I deal with or older, are starting to say that Vivek Ramaswamy should be Trump's vice president and should learn hard from 2024 to 2028. And if he does and does well, then he should be Trump's endorsement in 2028. What do you think?
well, we got a couple of great competitors in the ring for that. This is where I stand on it. If you are willing to stand up to this government, I got your back. I got your back. I want to hear politicians talking about standing up to this government and getting these crazy people out of here and making America first. That's what I want to hear about. I don't want to hear these Republicans that is ready to sweep all this shit under the rug. Oh, let's just move on. Trump is just a distraction. He brings chaos. Let's just forget about all of this and just kumbaya and this too sharp. No, I want to hear people like Byron Donaldson talking about, yeah, Joe Biden ass should be held accountable for treason and high crimes and misdemeanors. Yeah, he needs to be locked up. I want to hear people like Vivek talk about, yeah, we need to take this corrupt system and smash it to the ground. I want to hear people talking about taking down this system. If you ain't talking about taking down this system, I don't want to hear shit about the border. I don't want to hear shit about child trafficking and all that shit, because none of that changes until the establishment changes. And there's only a couple of people out here talking like Trump. And when I say that, I mean changing the establishment.
Yeah. And on the child trafficking front, if you are Bonnie Johnson's friend on Facebook, and there may be more than one Bonnie Johnson. So type in Bonnie Johnson, search her as a person, read her posts, and then you'll know the right one. Become her friend. She has been more active in child trafficking investigations than just about anybody I know. She is well known, I say meaning having made it up to the big boys and girls tables, the Dan Bonginos, the Stephen Bannons, I don't know if she's done Alex Jones yet. And I have been bugging her for years to give me 15 seconds on a Boogie with the Bull. And she did express some interest, so hopefully we will have her on probably the 7 p.m. Tuesday and Thursday night live in the next few weeks. We just have to make sure our schedules jive for us to do it. That is something that we're working on. And
what else you got for me?
Well, I don't know.
I come on here ready. Now. I don't come on here.
You do. I have to say that you are, as far as having a guest come on, you are the actual and factual, as you call yourself. I have gone lately from
put this way. When
not
you're
my
gonna have
name
me
being
come on
corrected
the show,
by you.
When you're gonna have me come on your show, do a 10-point list.
Okay. But yeah, I appreciate when we are talking about something and you correct me. I know in the past I used to get very upset when you did that, but you know what? I don't mind.
That's because it's all love,
Right.
and that's what made me better. Being
Right.
able to take constructive criticism from people, and
Right.
I use it, and
Right.
it's helped me excel on my platform.
Yep.
So I can only, share the knowledge and stuff that's helped
Yep.
me.
Yeah.
You
I
know.
never did the 10-point list before a broadcast because in radio, I just sat down and the 10 points were in my head and and in the course of the broadcast, we went through them. And now, unfortunately, sometimes I'm not even in my own head.
Don't be pulling a Joe Biden on me. Don't be pulling.
No, I do credit Joe, where I will say that he's I don't know how many years older than me he is, but if any indication of how he is with dementia now at 80 something, I can promise America when I'm 80 something, I will not be your president. I don't care how bad you want me. I will not be your president.
But this is this is a sad point in America's history.
Yep.
That's what this is. This is a very sad point when we have to sit back and go against everything that we've been taught as a child to honor, to respect, to have love of country.
Yeah.
Number one important thing, to have love of self, because a lot of these people that's doing this, they don't love themselves.
They don't know who they are.
They don't. They really don't.
Their identity is who's paying them the most at that particular moment to say or do or be whatever they want.
And it's not even about the money. It's about the control and the power. Because if the people that control you, let's get it right, they don't have to pay you. Only thing they got to do is tell you what the hell to do, or you'll find yourself on the wrong side.
Right. But I was going to say, if you're now in your 50s, 60s, like me, maybe even older, and you grew up being that 5-year-old boy or girl who followed and thought one day you could be the president and make a difference for this country, I hope you're still chasing that dream. But honestly, for me, that ship came and sailed. I don't even think I would serve in Congress if I had the chance.
Dave, if somebody paid you $1 million, would you vote for Joe Biden? Would you sell your soul and vote for Joe Biden?
No.
Well, I say that to say this, and this is I'm just giving my shows away. But
I wish someone would pay me the $1 million.
People need to understand,
to put together a broadcast that finally goes out and says, "Hey, America, this is," and goes to America and says, "Hey, are you really that stupid that you don't see what is going on?" And I wouldn't use the word stupid, but are you really not paying attention? Do you not understand what is going on? Do you realize that regardless of how many times Donald Trump said in 2016 or 2015 running for president in 2016, this is the most important election in the history of elections, or how many times he said it in 2020, because it's true now, this is the most important election. But then again, you got Democrats who are saying, keep saying that because there may not be an election this year.
Listen, Linda, y'all know how I love saying that. Listen, I don't care how much money Joe Biden raises, because I said my last point to you to get back to this point when it comes down to the money. Because I sit up and I listen to the news and they talk about, oh, Joe Biden raised $34 million and this. Listen, people, money and commercials and false advertisement Why do people think that can buy you an election? That can win you an election? It just like I asked Brother Dave a minute ago, would he sell his soul and vote for Joe Biden for $1 million?
No.
He said no. There's a lot of Americans in that same situation today. So I don't care how much money Joe Biden raises. It's not changing the hearts and the minds of the American people when it comes to ballot day.
Yep.
It's just not happening. So you can raise $1 trillion, Joe Biden. I don't care. Because you know what's the most greatest feeling that I'm having? You know, Trump at this point in his bid for his second presidency has to be one of the most resilient presidents we've ever had. This man has taken body blow after body blow after body blow, and they keep talking about, well, people aren't going to vote for him because he's got 91 indictments. People don't care about the 91 indictments. Put 91 more on them. They see the lies. Put 91 more on them.
Yep.
They have nothing. They have nothing to run on. And they're hoping they can get the American people to turn on Donald Trump again. And it's just not happening this time.
No.
Donald Trump is campaigning in the courtrooms. He's campaigning. This man is moving from South Carolina to Tennessee. Every time I turn the TV on, I'm like, shit, I'll never catch up with him because he's always at a different spot.
And this whole New York case just makes me laugh every time I hear it or hear something about it, commentary on a video or a repeat of somebody's broadcast. Because, well, they keep saying, you don't think that he's going to be able to get, because now he at times he'll say he doesn't have the $500 million in cash to post it to be able to file the appeal. And then, so the commentary will be between commentators. Do you think he can get banks to loan him whatever it is they need? And they're all, no, they won't do it.
I don't listen. I don't listen.
No, I know. But then you listen to President Trump, and it's like he says, I've never asked these banks, I've asked some banks to work with me, and they keep working with me, and they always have from the first time, my father put me in the real estate development business up to now. But he said that he doesn't think there is a bank that would refuse to help him put that together.
You know why? Because he makes them money. I don't listen to the mainstream media. See, this is what I don't do. I don't listen to none of that shit because I already know.
Yep.
It's all lies.
Yep.
It's all lies. That man got the money in the bank. He ain't got to sell. What he gonna sell? Pick one. Choose one. If he had to. But he don't because he's got the money.
Yep.
He's got the money. But you know what's sad at the end of the day? This ain't going nowhere either. So Letitia James, who's a real estate mogul, going to estimate his property at $18 million. Say he overinflated and shit like that. With nobody claiming that they got damaged or anything, and this shit is going out the window. So she know that's going out the window. So now she's the big beef expert. If you haven't heard by now, Letitia James is suing JBS, who is the biggest distributor of beef, saying that they were misrepresenting themselves.
But, that whole idea of her saying he overinflated the value of Mar-a-Lago, it's not worth, he said it was worth far more than the $18 million that real estate, I don't know, appraisers say it's worth. I grew up a long time ago. Something is worth to you however much you say it is, but it's only worth whatever somebody else is willing to pay for it. And I am sure if Donald Trump said, I'm going to sell Mar-a-Lago and I've moved to another property, or I built a new property, I built a new home. Even if the appraisers say it's worth $18 million, that's going to sell for $1,800,000,000,000.
Yeah.
Why? Because it was Donald Trump's home.
That's
Period.
it.
Period.
That's all.
Period.
That's all. But like I said, when you're this is just it's crazy because I'm not used to having to deal with lies. I mean, I want to come out and tell the news, bring the actual and factual, but damn, to keep breaking and deciphering all these lies that they just keep throwing at us. How are these people even still able to be remotely in charge of this country? See, we have yet to get to the point to where we really understand that there up there, that's the people's house.
Yeah.
That there up there, because when you blatantly have liars and stealers and corrupt people in the government, and nobody of any type of power or stature is doing anything, because you can't tell us we're not seeing what we're seeing. Stevie Wonder and Ray Charles, Lord, they can see this.
Yeah.
What people need to understand and really understand, and I'm not advocating for any violence.
I'm gonna insult my intelligence because I should know, having been in radio for a long time. Stevie Wonder is still with us.
I'm not sure.
Okay,
I know Ray. That's why I
know
say
Ray.
Rest in peace.
Yeah, I know Ray Charles
Stevie's still here.
Yeah,
Stevie's
I
still
know.
here.
I know Ray Charles is not with us.
Ray Charles,
And
rest in peace.
Rest in peace.
But see, it's crazy because I listen to a lot of people talk, and I listen to what a lot of people are doing, and a lot of people are just smoothing over everything that's going on and being focused on the new what we want to say, the new crime that's going on. Because if they was focused on the crime, we would be doing something. They're not focused on the crime. Do you notice how the mainstream media isn't even talking about the willfully retained documents that Joe Biden took when he was vice president? What does that say about? Can you see what they're doing to Donald Trump over Mar-a-Lago and the document situation? And he had Secret Service. He was in talks with them in negotiations.
Yep.
Under lock and key. Joe Biden had classified information in numerous Chinatown, Biden Penn's place, the garage next to the Corvette, and he wasn't even authorized to. He wasn't under the Presidential Records Act, which Trump was.
Right.
Why?
And if Trump
I'm staying focused on it.
Right, but I'm just saying, and if those that are responsible for constantly running security checks on anything President Trump took with him were doing their jobs, and they showed up to do a courtesy check, and they said, like they did the last time, you might want to add one more lock on the 45 door just for some little added protection of anything that is in that one particular suite. Not anything about anywhere else at Mar-a-Lago that he had things stored. Just, to make us feel a little better when we punch out and go home at the end of our day. Put one more lock on the 45 office door. That he would have done it. He probably would have bought a new door that was
But
so
they
impenetrable it could never be opened again.
They were past that. They were past that. They were in negotiations. It was locked, sealed, and tight. There was no more security.
Right.
You know, he could have had on there. The thing where I cross over the line is when I see someone who does the exact same thing and they just act like it didn't exist.
Yep.
They just act like it didn't exist. This man has committed high crimes, misdemeanors, and treason, and we're supposed to act like it never happened. And her says he was too old. But then you got Jean-Pierre talking about the doctors. All 7 said he's just great. Which one is it? I ain't got time to be brain fucked. I'm not the one. Our country is being run by criminals. And we're supposed to just sit back and let it happen. You know what the problem is? There's too many spineless Americans.
No more spineless Americans.
There's too many Americans that don't have the backbone to stand up for this country. Because I don't care what you say. At the end of the day, they work for us.
Yep.
They don't rule over us. So when they don't do what they're supposed to do, what's right by the American people who elect them and put them in office, the American people forgetting we can go drag their ass out of there. That is the people's house. But they have America so scared with the J6 political prisoners that haven't had court dates. What kind of shit is that? When illegals are beating up police officers and being let out with no bond.
Yep.
But at the end of the day, you know who the blame is to go on? The American people. History will say the American people let this shit happen. The history 50 years will be like, y'all was some punks. Well, you know, they scared us and we didn't want to get... If you don't stand up for something, you'll fall for everything and anything.
This
People
is
that
very...
are tuning in, Patriots Lab on Boogie with the Bill. Appreciate it. Like, share, subscribe. Ring that bell so you can get these instant notifications. Sona Singh, Thomas Horner, Dottie Estates. I appreciate y'all for tuning in as I linked in with Dave Glovin in Boogie with the Bull studio. I don't know, Dave. This shit got me hot.
Oh, good. So get your 10-point list together and you come on at 12 noon.
You got 12 noon show?
No, I don't have a 12 noon show. No, this was my last one for today. I'm going to be watching 7 p.m. Tonight. Randy Rhodes and Jen Woodruff, and I'm not sure who else have something which is a break from politics. It's not political. And if you're around your Facebook device, you should watch it. I believe it's only going to be on Facebook tonight. I don't know if it's going to be anywhere else, but you should tune in and watch it. We won't be back until 7 o'clock Tuesday night. We'll be back, and Brother Ray, you're more than welcome to join us. The links go out around 6:30. If I forget to send you one, please let me know. And take a minute or two and tell America the actual factual in 120 seconds or less, and then enjoy the day.
Well, y'all be sure to tune in tonight for Mega Monday, 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. And we're just changing it up. We're gonna do a couple of weeks of just common sense. I'm tired of talking about the news and what's going on. It's time to start just talking about the actual and factual inside what's going on. We're going to go into the headlines this way, because a lot of people don't understand what's going on. They just read headlines, they hear headlines. So I got to put it in a way to where you know your spouse is cheating on you. Okay, you know that somebody stole your dog because you ain't seen them in a couple of days. Some people just ain't getting it. So I just got to try to break it down to a level to where they can understand that we're being screwed with no Vaseline, and only we are going to get ourselves out of this mess, man.
Only we will get ourselves out of this. All right, Mr. William, always a pleasure to have you on. Tuesday night if you're available, Wednesday morning if you're available, and we go from there.
All right, I appreciate it.
All right, Ray.
All right, have a good one.
You too. William Rayfield, the Patriots Lab. Always a pleasure to have him on and be live on the Patriots Lab network. I think that puts us on X or Twitter, whatever you want to call it. You can put us on a bunch of different places on YouTube, aside from the Boogie with the Bull YouTube channel, and hopefully a bunch of different places on Facebook. I cannot share until like 9 o'clock tonight unless they slap me with another, 5-day suspension for sharing stuff they don't like at 9 o'clock tonight. So if you watch the broadcast and you like the broadcast, please share the broadcast everywhere you think it should be. And it will be graciously appreciated. David Novar, pleasure having you here. And Nick Gurr, a pleasure having you here. And Nick, I think you're somebody that I have to talk to and find out, because I think I know you, but I don't know you as Nick Gurr. So I have to get the actual and factual behind that. Callum McMillan, always a pleasure to have you watching. No, the 1967 Chevrolet Nova is not for sale. Do not bother him because you saw his post and I commented that it might be for sale. It is not for sale. He still has the ambulance, and we'll get more information about the ambulance. And if he wants to take your money, he will sell you the ambulance, because he tells me all the time the ambulance is still for sale. A lot of fun stuff, cool stuff you can do with the ambulance. Let's see who else watched today. David Novar did put a comment on a good place to go look for news is www.nbcnews.com/politics/Supreme Court rules Trump cannot be kicked off the Colorado ballot. So, go ahead and read that if you're looking to follow the news. I think that was pretty much told to Colorado in the last few days that they cannot remove him from the ballot, that a state does not have the right to move a qualified presidential candidate off of a federal election, and that the presidential election is not run by the states, it's run by the supervised by the federal government, because it's their election. John Tenuta, thank you for watching. And who else watched? Dodie Estates, a new person, thank you for watching. Craig Peterson, always a pleasure to have you watching. And if you're watching, I think, according to Facebook, if it shows up on my screen that you're watching, that just means you haven't made a comment in the live chat. And if you do that, I'm still going to comment in the live chat. Thank you for watching. So again, take the broadcast, share it anywhere you can on Facebook. Take it anywhere you can off of Facebook and share that. Chris, let me know where you do that. This is the part of the broadcast where I look at you and say you have been watching Boogie with the Bull Morning Caffeine for Monday, March 4th, 2024, a copyrighted presentation of the No Budget Broadcasting Company, and we will leave it at that. Lately, it's been sharing violations or spamming violations, and the funny thing about spamming violations on Facebook is how can you spam a group that is yours? I have 9 of them that I'm either a chief admin of, a group owner of, or an admin of. And it seems that Facebook tries to insist 99.9% of the time that I am spamming my own groups. I don't know. I think if they get rid of the news feed, they will then get rid of broadcasters down in the bottom feeders like me and William and Randy and Jen and others that are down here. And then at the last minute decide they're going to keep all the Bonginos and the Bannons and Alex Jones and all those people that they make hundreds of millions of dollars every day off of advertising. We're just going to keep doing it here until they say you can't do it here anymore. We're still set up on YouTube. We will probably add Rumble in the next few days. Finally, just go ahead and do it and see how it works. We will not add Twitter in the month of March, X, whatever you want to call it. We will not add it in the month of March. And probably not for a few more months, because we'll just take broadcasts and post them on Twitter on the @BoogieWTBull account, and hopefully people will watch them or they won't. We don't get much of a response to a Boogie with the Bull broadcast when we post it on X, because I don't have enough of a following over there. But if you're on X, take it, retweet it, and help us out. Anyway, I think we have just about covered it all. So double V's for victory. This Boogie with the Bull broadcast is going to come to an end. 1 hour and 5 minutes, which is 5 minutes over the hour that I was shooting for. Also, the gospel according to Glovin that you see that is running about an hour is in the process of, as I do them, they will be trimmed down to a half an hour, then hopefully trimmed down to about 20 minutes. And if I can get them down to 15 minutes, that will be even better. And they will be dropped all over Facebook and a few other social media networks just to see how they go. The whole idea with them, getting them down to 30 minutes or less, is trying to get it down to 15 minutes so that we can take them and post them as tweets on Facebook, over on Twitter, X, that people will retweet and hopefully help us gain some more attention over there. Again, when you see William on the Boogie with the Bull broadcast, support him by sending stars, because that is important. It helps with the cost of keeping the actual and factual in front of your eyes as often as he can do it. Anyway, go out there and make it a great day. It's Monday, March 4th, 2024. Finish your morning caffeine and get on with your day. We will be back, like I said, tomorrow night at 7 p.m. with Tuesday Night Live. And then back Wednesday morning with Wednesday morning caffeine. So go out there and make it a great day.